Well, hello there on this sunny day. Welcome to another episode of the xTool Squad live stream. Um, as the title said it, we're gonna be all about the Pride Month, and we're gonna make something cool of that. Hello, Pixie. Do you also want to be on here? Um, so yeah, I came up with a nice idea that I think that would be cool. Of course, I have a lot of normal key hangers that are made from uh, leather or wood, but I thought, what if we make one ourselves? So that's kind of what I've been working on. I'm a little bit late because, well, my program didn't want to cooperate. It still doesn't want to. So because I was gonna have a surprise for you guys this week only, I believe it is. They're gonna give two winners £100 xTool gift card away. And well, I wanted to paste that in my screen, and it didn't wanna. It doesn't want to do anything. So I found a solution because there's so many ways that lead to Rome. So I'm first gonna show you guys that because you can just scan it. It has a code. So I'm gonna go to that one. There. That is how I fixed it. This is the project we're gonna work on today. And here is the code, so I can even zoom in. So anybody that wants to do that, I will show it again later on. It was for me also a surprise that they were having this special discount for during the live streams. So I wanted to put it in, and well, that didn't work. So this is my solution. It is there. Ta-da! So we're gonna put it aside now a little bit because I have been working really hard on this, and I'm gonna try if I can show you how I have been doing that. So I was on Adam, and there I went on the creative tools and then the generators. And there is one, and I really like it, and actually they have improved it already, as I expected. The last time I had some troubles with the beta, but they are still working really hard on it every day. And now that actually worked really nicely. Why is it not saved on there? But that's very unfortunate that it didn't save there. Bummer. So what I did is, can I go here? Yeah. Oh, I need to, let me put it aside, otherwise it's not gonna work. There, and open. So I created a layer one of this. I will just do it again because I wanted it saved anyway. So let it roll, but this is kind of the idea-ish that I want to go for, that I came up with. I generated this, of course, with AI, and I did some adjustments on it manually. This is kind of the result that I want to go for. I think it's a cute little hanger for on the keys. It is soft and it has some wood on it. I do not want to embroider it myself or sew the letters on. I kind of want to make it like a little piece of wood and sew the wood on. Hello, Straw. Nice of you to be there. So yeah, that is kind of the idea. Now we're gonna wait a little moment for this. How are you doing? Is your game going well? I heard that you said that you were gonna be in a game for a little while. Hope it all goes well. Always lovely to have you around. So I'm doing perfectly fine. Thank you so much. I have a bit of a headache though today. Oh well. So here you can see it. It actually gave me now a different result than the last time. I will show it in the exploded view. Here you can see it made all the parts separate. So when I export this into Studio, I'm first going to open a new tab. What I notice is that it will take the exact tab that you were already working in. So if you don't want it to be on this work, first make a new one and then go in there and say, okay, I want it to export it into Studio. So we're going to open it and we want to have it the same size. That is always good to start out with. Because some of the things that you can make with the generators on Atom, they have, for example, a setting where you have to, where you have tabs where that fit into one another, and they are based upon being, for example, 3mm thick wood. So if you're gonna then scale your image, that 3mm is not gonna be the same anymore, and then your project won't fit. So that's kind of important to keep an eye on. So what I did is I have been going in here and I first ungroup everything. So then you click aside, then you see everything is now separate. So if I click on this, it's still grouped here. So you ungroup that as well. And now you can see you can have this. Now this one has a little bit of an unlucky generation because it did not go here. Now there is a way how to work with this. And usually I just do all the way this. Oops, I select it. And then I delete what I don't need. Even rhyming on this lovely warm day. So if you then select all these, and then you can just start by zooming in, and then you're just gonna line these up. If you double click on them, the line setting changes. And here, these little square ones, you can actually drag, and you can see then your lines are gonna be different. So here's the options that you have. You can do sharp corner, perfect symmetry. Let me see what this one is now on. I think this one is perfect. No, this is opposite. Is it? No, this is perfect symmetry. Then you have total asymmetry. So then you can only do one side, which is always very useful. Oh. And then you have angled asymmetry. And then you can see I can put this one in and out, so wider or less wide. It will still keep the same angle though. So, but I can move this one in length differently than the other one. Whereas when you do the perfect symmetry, when I drag this out, the other one also goes out. So, and yeah, for your work, you have different needs. So I would always suggest to just play around with that. So back to where we want it to be is I'm just gonna double click this and I'm just gonna move it around here with this thing. I don't want to, I want to have the asymmetry. I'm gonna move this on here. It doesn't need to be all too perfect. Nothing will happen if you don't do it super perfect here. So I'm gonna move this here and I just, that is how you can kind of make your own vector based upon what is here. No, this one is, did not want it, that one to change. So here we're gonna zoom in a little bit, try to actually hit it when I try to click it. And here we're gonna go so. I don't want this to be here. Actually, I want to have an extra dot here. Oops, asymmetry. Now I put them really close together. That's not very convenient of me. Pop, this one. Why is that such a broken line? Something is very old here. Oh, let's just move it along. Sometimes you can just go pretty fast by just taking the main points and just dragging it there. And I will show you then what you can do afterwards, because now it of course looks like a little bit of a mess. So you just double click on it. Here I double click, and now you see it starts to make a bit more sense. So often that is all that it needs actually. Trying to keep my eyes on the chat. If anyone has any questions, feel free to just fire away. I will try to answer anything that you might wonder about regarding the program or the use of the machine. There, I think this is just perfectly fine. Now this one is not how I wanted it. There. I think I forgot the music again, right? We're only 15 minutes in. It's perfectly not so bad this time. Okay, let me see, because this one is standing still. There we go. Let me see if I can put on the music. I was trying to make some new music. Well, then I got distracted. That never happens to me. Nah, yeah, I actually really forgot the music. It happened again. Let me play this one. What do you mean you can't open that? I'm being bullied. Okay, I'm gonna clear the list. I'm gonna do it by hand. Everything is bullying me today. Tum tum tum, music. I think next time I want to make a little bit more upbeat music, like a bit summer stuff. What do you think? I like this one. Some northern vibe. Okay, now I'm gonna need to know from you guys if it is not too loud, because then I need to fix that. So now that we have some cool music, now we can work extra hard. So we're gonna say edit compound, because there's parts here that we do not want. So I'm gonna click here and I press delete, and I'm gonna click here and I'm gonna press delete. So now we only have this here left. And now that looks actually really cool, right? This looks just like perfectly fine, beautiful hands. I could choose to make them have a little bit of a line in, but I'm gonna leave it. Now this one was a little bit more work, because I tried to let me first ungroup it so you can see what is happening. There. So you see, this is not really, I can't really do anything with that, because I want to I can turn it up just a tad. Okay, let me do that. So where is my music? This is a tad. Is it enough or is it too much? So anyway, the idea that I had is I have all these like beautiful thin felt parts. And I want to make the rainbow of that. So I want actually my machine to cut that out for me, because, well, that is a lot faster and more accurate than that I could do it. And then I'm gonna sew them together. I will not do that on stream because I'm not very good at it yet. So that will take possibly a little while. I could also glue them together, but I think that sewing is gonna look a little bit more cute. But yeah, I will need to. I want to do that shame-free off screen. So, anyways, as you can see, there is no rainbow shape here, so it's not gonna. It's only gonna cut this entire thing out. So, and if I do this one and I want to trace it, trace is where you can have all these layers, like making it into a vector, and then you can play around with those to see what the threshold is and how much it is gonna take. But I never get to the point that it actually has all the colors of the rainbow loose by itself. So I was, before all this, I just took, here you can go to elements, and I said, oh, well, here you can see it. This is the rainbow that I picked. And then I was, okay, I'm gonna trace this. So I was very confident that that is gonna work. Well, it didn't. So I ended up doing actually just this. And then I have been copy and pasting every one, and then I made it a bit smaller, a bit smaller, a bit smaller. So I can quickly show you one so you can see what I'm doing, in case you ever bump into this yourself. So I just put the threshold up so it all went all the way around. Let's denoise it, and it needs to be smooth. So now you see we have this little rainbow here. So I'm gonna keep that on top of my work so I see how where I need to be, right? Let's close this. So I'm gonna press Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and then you see that I get a copy, and I place that right over it, and then I press edit, and now you can see I have a nice little rainbow. So I'm gonna put this one here, and I'm deleting this one and this one, and I'm gonna double click here twice, and now you see I have it. It's gonna be very straight. So that is my starting point, how I want to begin. So I'm gonna put that nicely up there, and I will do the same for here, and you will see that where the line pops up, then I'm on the same height. So now I'm gonna do that the same for here. So I'm gonna just delete this one, and this one is already there. So let's see if I can get the same height as the other side. It's there. Meow. Now we're gonna do that here as well. You see the orange line is already showing. So now you see this is a very nice curve, but I only need one here. I'm gonna delete this one. And this one is gonna be in the middle. And I will delete this, this, and this. And I will delete this, this, and this. Now this looks like nothing, right? But we're gonna, this one needs to be on perfect symmetry. And we're gonna put this like so. And now this, we're gonna go on total asymmetry. And this needs to stay straight. But this one we can now make to the right angle. See that I'm still too wide here, so I'm just gonna squeeze it in a bit. So I have a nice fit. And I don't want it to be out of there too much. I kind of don't want it to be out of there at all, honestly. Okay, I think I had to make one here, there, because the first part is of course straight. So we're gonna keep this in line with here, and this in line with here, and then we're gonna keep this line here. So this needs to stay straight. Otherwise I'm not going to get the correct curve. Okay. Now, my whole bummer. This one had to stay. So now we should have the correct curve. There we go. So sorry for that. I was not realizing that this one also needs to go, and this one needs to be asymmetry because I want it to be here straight, and this one can curve. Okay, now this is the first one, right? This is where we start. So we say done, and now we Control C, Control V again, and we say edit. And when you now just move this one inward to like here, why is it bending like that? Is that your fault? There, it was. So, and you also place this one inward. So now you kind of just have to follow the rainbow. That sounds very cliche, but that is kind of what you have to do. So just follow the rainbow. Why is that more down? I made an extra point. Control Z, then you just remove it. Here, now you can see it's straight, it's lining up with the rest. And now we just need to put this one down. That on the line, and there. And now we're just gonna go and move this a little bit, and this one we move it a little bit. There. So that's one, and that is what you're gonna continue. Control C, Control V, and you place it on top of one another again, and you say edit, and then you're just gonna do the whole shebang again. There. Why is it again doing that? It's being silly with me today. Or I'm just silly, that's also possible and very likely. Okay, so then we do this one till the yellow. Keep it in the middle. And now we can just move on the handles. This one, and here this handle. There. And now you can see we have already 2 of the outer layers. And that is what I have been doing all the way with this until the last one. Then I also have made this one. Just Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V because I lined it up. This one has a bit of a different shape than the other one that we made here. It's not too different, but slightly. I think this one became a little bit prettier, although it's actually very jagged. And we added that. Can we simplify? Confirm. Done. Should be less jagged now. Yeah. So if you see that next to one another, if we zoom in, you see this one is very jagged, and I just pressed simplify and then everything goes much smoother. Can still be that you find some of them that are not very nice. Can I simplify it more? No, that's gonna be too wonky, I guess. But if you want, you can just go in and you can just do all of that. Let me just first now take this one out. Oh, no! Okay. No, still not. I just want to have the hands. No. Really now? Having a fight with the hands. Okay, so if you hover over it when you go on the layer and object list, you can actually hover over it and then you see the one is lighting up green, the one you are hovering over. And now I have it selected and I can actually move it. Let me undo that and place this one on top of it first, so it's exactly at the same spot. There. Did I now remove the right one? Yeah, I did. So this one. That's the jagged one. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep it just to be safe in case something happens. So I just turn it off here with the output. And this one we will not need either. But I'm just gonna keep it just in case I delete something or whatever, then I have a little bit of it back. Know thyself. This one also needs to be turned off because we don't want to engrave that. So, and there we have a part that says love is love, and I connected it to this. I'm gonna make that in wood as well as the hands, and I choose this nice walnut wood. It's just layered, so we can do that. Let us pick some colors for the rainbow. So I think we should just take deep red, right? We have red. Then we will have orange. Is this orange enough compared to the red? Oh yeah, that's fine. So red and orange. And we will have a yellow. Yellow. Which one is better? Dark yellow or light yellow? I think light yellow. Yellow. I'm gonna have some green. I think this green or one darker. You guys wanna watch along with me what I'm doing? Okay, let's quickly change the there. I hope it's on and it wants to be on and stay on. I think it's not. Let me fix that. Of course, nothing goes automatically today. There we go. Now you guys should be able to see it, right? So we have these three colors. 1, 2, 3. So I'm just gonna put them here so you guys can keep seeing them. And I was looking for green, which one? So we have a bit of a darker green and a bit of a lighter green. So we have 3 different ones. We're not gonna make too dark because that is not pretty. That's not how the rainbow works. Just gonna go for this one. We're not gonna go that super high grass one. Then we have blue. Let's take this one. We go baby blue. Just gonna go baby. And then we have a darker blue. It's more like a dark purple, right? Purple, and then we have magenta, how do you say that? This one? Yeah, I think that's fine. I think those are nice. We have chosen. I have chosen. So let's start with the rainbow, I think, and start cutting that out, and then we can see if we can put that together already. So we're gonna have the biggest one, that's gonna be red. So I'm gonna have to move you guys to the machine. Dark now because the light was off. So here we go. I'm gonna be a bit silent now because I don't have my tiny microphone anymore. Okay, I put it on a random spot above my work, and now I'm first gonna measure the distance. So it will drop the needle, so it knows how thick it is, so it knows how the focus point needs to be. Okay, so gonna select, is this the big one? We're gonna say cut, and we're gonna look in the material library. We can find some about And we're just gonna say red felt, apply. It's 1 millimeter red felt, so that is correct. That's what we have. And now I'm gonna make sure that everything else is gonna be, except for that one. No, now it's still too much. I turn everything off and I just only select this one. Now you see only the very big one is selected. So let's zoom in a little bit. And I'm gonna place the marker or the crosshair on the bottom left of my working area, because I don't want to waste too much, right? Wasting stuff is a waste. Ha 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 ha. So I'm actually gonna move it up a little bit, so reach. I'm trying to see by my honeycomb that I can line it up. So I'm just going to place it there. So that is my bottom left corner. And what I then will do is I will just take this whole thing. I'm just going to line it up there. Making sure that that is where I'm gonna have to be. So this one is now the only one. It's gonna be super fast, so that's great. It says we're gonna go with 65% and 150 millimeters, and it says it needs 2 cuts. I doubt that, but we're just gonna let it be. So we say process, and it takes 22 seconds. I think it's gonna cut through in 1 time, but so we're gonna press OK and start on the machine. You see it goes really fast. This is my tiny little rainbow. See how accurate it can actually laser, right? Because this is just hanging by a little thread. It's really nothing anymore. So I made sure that I don't waste too much. Okay, so that was red. Now we're gonna have orange. So say finished, and now we're gonna select this one and turn it off. Now we select the orange one and we put it on. So this one is the same. We're gonna need to cut it. It says exactly the same thing. So we're gonna place this one exactly where the other one was. Very nice and convenient. But now we are gonna move the thing a little bit to the left because we don't need to have the red one on. Okay, and now we're gonna say process 19 seconds because it's a little bit smaller. So we say start. I need to close the lid, of course. Otherwise, no starting. I love that about this laser. You can't make a boo-boo. You can't just accidentally start it. Process. Start. Now you see how fast that goes, right? And of course you always have to be with your machine in case anything goes wrong, if it catches fire or whatever. It's of course a flammable material, so you want to be close, always. There's no exceptions to that. So that is one. I think I can actually just glue them maybe. That's gonna look pretty cool. So finished. Now we're gonna turn this one off. Oops. And we're gonna turn this one on. Now we say cut. This one is yellow felt though, so that's a little bit of a bigger difference. That might need a higher power because it is lighter. So let's say we're gonna call it bright orange because I think that applies pretty well. You see now it has a higher power because it is a lighter material, so it will need more power to cut through that. Trust me, really, that is really true because I tried white and I will cut white with my own scissors from here. White was not a good idea with my diode laser, at least not with my 20 watt. I don't know how my colleagues experienced that on felt, but white was not a fun thing. I managed it. I don't know. Have you guys seen that? This is my buddy Cliff, and he's always with me. It's actually something I made for Christmas. This is Cliff. Hello. So Cliff is my cliffhanger. That's why his name is Cliff, because you can just put him like practically on anything. So for example, my cam holder. Let me show it here. There. So I don't know, now you still can't see it. There it is. So I have like a little outfit for him, and it's really cute because I have like a little Christmas outfit. So I have a little hat that I can clip on, and some other little attributes. It's really cute, and I actually want to make him a summer outfit as well. So maybe we can do that next time. Might be fun. But here you can see that is the white that I have been doing, and it was really difficult to get that. Actually the edges became rather hard from all the passes I had to do. So it worked in the end, but I had to have a very long breath there. I had a lot of patience. So yellow, let's see how well that goes. I will close the lid already. And we're gonna place the entirety to the left. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so I know that I'm on the right spot. There. Then we're gonna say process. And we're gonna say start. Now that actually went super well, better than I thought. So we're gonna have all many kinds of little leftovers though. So there you go. So that is already the third layer. And you will see we're starting to have like a cute little rainbow effect here. Yes. Yes, it does. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the next one. So we're gonna turn off the yellow and we're gonna turn on the green. So let's take the green and we're gonna put it again in. But yeah, it's indeed a good preparation pays off. Usually the first ones that you make always take a bit more time because you have to test the waters, so to say. But once you have done it, you can actually use the batch tool and then you can make a whole load of them. So I won't cut only one red bow, but I will cut 20 of them, you know, because you can just line them up into one another and just however works best for you. So let's go to cut and we're gonna search for green felt. Oh, yield. And there is, oh, that's 3. 1 millimeter is fine enough. I'm gonna apply that. And this one can go only on 50. You see, there's a big difference between 70 or 50. It still says 2 passes. I'm fine with that. It gives a very nice and clean result. I don't have to pull them apart or anything. So there we go. And there we have the green one. How beautiful and cute it is turning out to become. Finished. Gonna turn off the green. So it's a little bit of work, but well, then you have something, right? Hello, Exo. How nice of you to be there. How are you doing? Okay, let's go for a blue. Felt blue. I felt blue. Navy felt. I think that, yeah, I will consider it to be navy felt. It's baby blue, but who's watching anyway? Yes, dabadi-dabadi. You know, life is a song, right? Anything you say, you can turn into a song. I think I actually forgot to move it. I forgot to move it. My bad. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you can follow anything that I do. I hope you like it. It's me and my little creative spree. So Now we forgot to turn off the green. No. We've got to turn on the blue. That's what it was. Now you see there's only this one on. And we can go to start. This is 30 seconds. Is that okay? I'm double checking. Why does it say 5 times? I do not believe that. I'm gonna go with 2 times and see if I'm right. I think 5 times is a lot. Why would... It's not worse than green, right? Than yellow. Correction, it is worse than yellow. Light blue is worse than yellow. So, and it's also taking less. So, I'm gonna give it 3 more passes. So we end up at 5 anyway. So it makes actually really a lot of difference if you have light blue or yellow. Thank you for following. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. Now I feel all happy and shy. Okay, let's see if it's now cut it through. Okay, this starts to be a little bit like the white, where I'm gonna have to be super mega patient. So I'm gonna crank it up a little bit. I'm gonna give it 1 pass. I hope it will come loose now, because it just hangs like by little parts. And I rather don't want to have it going slower. Because if it's slower, then it has more time to catch fire. I don't want that. So I'm really gonna have to find the right settings for this, because this one is really... I feel the nightmares of the white felt again. Next time I take a darker blue. Okay, so we're gonna slow this down. Let's go with 120. I don't want to go too slow right away. So, for example, if you go with this wood, right? You normally go like with 100% power, and you only have 7 speed. That is usually what I go for. Thicker is of course even slower, than you go with like 6. But this is felt, and I feel felt is super flammable, so I don't want to go too slow. Just gonna test it. Ai, 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 caramba. Yeah. That was too fast. Confirm. Finished. So, gonna have to happen. Okay. So light blue is definitely difficult. First gonna give it one time so I can see how the felt reacts to this, because I'm now getting a bit desperate. So desperate I'm forgetting to press start. That's more like it. I'm gonna give this 3 passes and then it should be, then I think it should be loose. So that's something we're gonna need to remember. The other 2 should be going easy. There we go. Finally! See, it just reacts so little that there's not even like burn marks. It's just like those little pieces were just sticking together, hiding from the laser. Let me see. There we go. Doing some moderation. Yippee! Okay, that was the adventure of blue. Lovely. Then we have purple. So we're gonna turn off the blue and we're gonna turn on the purple. Place it all the way there again. Zoom in. We're gonna line up the purple. Also. And we're gonna, this one we're gonna set to cut. Should we not have to blur it? But yeah, we did. Okay. I thought, oh, maybe I did it only on score, then it's not gonna work. So, and we're gonna choose again. It's so nice that they have this big library purple felt. 60 and 150 two times. So you can see how far we are. This is how far we are now. This one could actually have gone one more pass because it was slightly having a little of these hairs stuck. So let me just quickly clean that up. So I don't want it to look too fluffy. Because we wanted it to be clean and sharp, this one. There, I fixed this. And then we have one more, I believe. So we're gonna turn this one off. And we're gonna turn this one on. Place it where the marker is. Do that. So, and now we're gonna place it. And this one, and we're gonna use the magenta, shall we say fuchsia, same but different. I'm gonna put it on cut. I actually think we might need to have 3. So let's go that. 20 seconds. I'll stay there now. 20 seconds. You saw it already coming loose, right? The last tiny little one. So now it's, so I purposely chose to have each layer laying on top of one another instead of like fitting them into one another, because I find it kind of cute to have this little 3D effect. I don't know why that came out so Dutch. See, that's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. So now I actually want to have the last layer what color shall we make that? Last layer, because I want to make one layer. I think brown is not pretty, right? So put it on gray. But that's also not really nice. What was it in the image? In the image it was nothing. Purple. I don't like it because it will not look nice with brown is not nice. What goes well with the red? I'm gonna do it on the dark gray, I think. Or we can do it on wine red. What do you guys think? Dark gray or wine red? Which is your choice? I will show you guys on the table. If it wants to. I'm having such a fight with my OBS. I think yes. I think you are right. So this is on there. So this is how it would look on the wine red, and this is how it would look. I think it's nicer, right? Then it has, every color has its own focus, kinda. So I think you make a good point there. Okay, let's work on the background then. How do I want to do that? I think that can just be like the red one. Oh. Turn off this one. Yeah, I think this is Yeah, because I don't know what should I should I give it a background, or should I just place the wood loosely on top of it? I can also do that, like the wood part like half and half, and I will kind of sew it on like so, making a hole here and a hole here too, and then just sew it on, and this one similar, and then it will be a see-through. Well, I will definitely make at least that one. So this is gonna be felt gray. It's pretty dark. So many. There's no gray. There's pea blue. There's lotus pink, but there is no gray or anthracite. I'm gonna go with black. It's fine. And we're gonna take this one away. So we have, it's not on yet, there. So this is the only one that's on, the rest you can see is ignored. I'm gonna click process and start. That works pretty fine. Black setting works for this anthracite. Now I want to have one made with this little yellow. Not make that beforehand yet. So this is going to be the background. And then I'm going to make a little. How white is it gonna need to be? I'm just gonna ungroup this for a second because I want to borrow this. Oops, and now we can group those two again. I just wanted to have this. Sideways. So I'm gonna put it in here. Maybe a little bit wider. Yeah, I think this should be fine. So it will only be like this high sticking out. That is like the little part where the key hanger goes through. So, oh, no, doing it again. This, I'm gonna just use this here. There, I'm gonna put this yellow in. Activate it. this one not activated yet? There we go. And we're gonna go again with the bright orange felt. I'm gonna say cut, and that was all fine. So you see here it also shows only that one is gonna go. In hindsight, it feels too small. Or too short, because this is only like this tiny. It's very different than I anticipated. So we're gonna make this one definitely a lot larger. It can also be wider, but especially the height. Hey, that's not what I asked for. So if I want to stick that halfway into there, yeah, then this should be about the right size. Okay, I'm gonna redo the part there. Moving it sideways a bit. And no worries, I will use that part for something else. I always have stuff. I always come up with stuff that it can be used anyway. So, process, start. Now we have a part where we can just see. What we will do is we're gonna hold it double, and then it's gonna be, I think I will use a few stitches for this and then some glue, but this is how that is gonna be. So that will be stuck in here, and then you can put a key hanger through it. I want it to be properly tucked in, so it's not just coming loose. You don't want to lose your rainbow, right? Okay, so now that is that. Now to the fun part. Now this was already fun, but let's go to the hands. Now first I'm gonna turn this off. That's not what I wanted to do. There. Let's place this in here. I think we can do both at the same time. So let's just put this. So we place it away. And now we want to make this. So this is gonna be, this is going to be engraved. And we're gonna go with plywood. 3mm walnut plywood. So here we can see the settings. I think this one is actually nice. also be here or here. Let's go just with that. Let's see how it goes. Now this is gonna have to be cut. So I think we're gonna go with 7. That is my experience. Or 6 even. I think that's totally fine. And this one is also gonna have to be cut. And we're gonna go with 6. Oh. Just want to select them all. Now we see this is only on and this is on. So this is showing engrave and this is showing cut. So that is what is going to happen. And now we want to line that up properly with that. So this is going to be so. And I'm going to place the hands sideways a bit. So I have as little as possible that is going to be going to waste. I don't like waste. My waste or any waste. Let's go back to the machine. I see that my wood has suffered a little bit from the moist in the house. It has been so rainy. But now it is stuck. Put some clamps on it. And if we say process, it shouldn't be all too long, 2 minutes. Risk of incomplete cut through. No, I think I did it right. Now there it tells you about the laser safety, and that is of course, like I said earlier, really important. But let's just press the button and see how we're doing. Now you can actually see the smoke that comes from that. I've been very, very tight to the edge. So it did go through, but I am not happy with the love is love part, so that part I'm gonna redo. So I will just turn the whole thing off, and then I just select the love is love, and I want to turn that on. Did I do it before on this wood? I think I've only been cutting this wood so far. So I think I'm gonna go a lot deeper and slower. I think I'm gonna go with 75 by 150. I think that should be a lot better. Oh, let's also press start, maybe. That's much better. And now I'm gonna do one thing that I always like doing. It's a little trick I always use. I'm just gonna score it once. It gives a bit of a cleaner result. Now here I didn't change the settings, and for this I think actually it's slightly too intense. So for the next one I would definitely tune that down a tiny bit. I wait a little moment till the smoke is gone. So the extractor is you can see it's maybe still on the side. See here, this is yeah, you can barely see it. Let me put on a little light. Where is it? There it is. So this is the air assist, and this is actually the extinguisher. In case that something catches fire, it has an extinguisher that can extinguish the fire. So thought maybe nice to see what is all of that side of the machine. So let me take it out. Oink. Actually, I wonder if this come loose. Yeah. Now I'm gonna show here on the crafting. Of course I want to line up everything first a little bit, because now it is such a mess when I I've been pushing and pulling and oh, come on then. I'm not very perfectionistic. I really just want it to be straight. So I will glue this later on. Like so. There, much better. And then we have these. Are gonna be like so. And then we're gonna have this like so. Oh. Maybe I will need to make the background there and then glue this one on there. I think that's actually nicer. I'm gonna make a gray one with the extra part. So I will show you guys how we do that. So we're gonna take this and I want to have a part that's under it at the size of that, right? So I'm gonna line it up with here and we want to have this actually nicely under there and then possibly have a little bit of space. So what I will do is I'm gonna make an extra rectangle. Just gonna make it like so. Align it up nicely so I see that it has approximately the same height there. And then we press shift and then we're gonna combine and we're gonna say union. And now I'm just gonna add this compound and take this off. And now there will be something in the back. We can also leave it out. But this is now gonna be the exact background of the thing. If we leave this one out, then it will have a gap here. But I think it's nicer when it's done closed. Also for the stability, I think. So edit compound and then we just select this and press delete. Done. So I'm gonna line this up with the little crosshair. Am I lined up? I'm not. There. What is now lined up? Did I now line up the? Yeah. I make a mess. This and this needs to be grouped and then I move it out of the way. Yeah, okay, it was that I lined up. So I'm gonna go back with the gray and then we're just gonna put this one in. This way it curls up a little bit, so I'm gonna actually put it tight. So. Oh, you guys couldn't see that because I forgot to swap my cam, huh? Well, there we go. So because this is how I first used it, right? But when I turn it up, it is kind of curling up when I have it. You see it how it happens. So that's also what's happening in the machine. So I have been taken that. Now where did I put my remote? Far away from the machine as it should be. Otherwise it wouldn't be a remote. Or wouldn't have the use. So anyways, let's just say process. No, like I still have the wrong one activated. And this one is on process. No, wait a second. I am not there with my head. Confirm to cancel. Finished. Because I have it still on the plywood and not on the felt. And we're going to go with the black one, 1 millimeter. Because that should give very different results. Six times. So that was not what we had last time. Oh, it's because I have now the 3 millimeters selected. I understand. And that's how fast it goes. So now, when we are going to go back, we pick up this whole thing, place this under, line this up there, and now we place this one here. There. And that is our self-designed Pride Month key hanger. That is that. I think I'm happy with it. I don't know if you guys like it. I think people should love who they love. Within reason, of course. But I think it's a beautiful month. Like I said in the last streams, I have a lot of affinity with it. I gladly design for this cause. So before I'm gonna end the stream, because it's already getting really late, I would like to give you guys still the opportunity to scan and win. So I will just put it on a different part of my screen so I can zoom in extra well. Let me see that I can make it bigger for you guys. And then I hope some of you guys might win. Who wouldn't want to have a nice gift card, right? And if you don't know what to do with it, you can just get some cool materials and then you can just send it to me. I will make something for you. So I also noticed that my music fell silent, so I think it's about time to end the stream anyway. So I hope you guys are gonna have a lovely weekend and enjoying the weather. I believe it's gonna be nice weather still for this weekend, at least in Denmark. So hooray for a little bit of sunshine. I could use it. And hope that you guys are gonna enjoy it too. For those who are watching football and such, I hope you guys are gonna have some amazing games and a lot of joy and fun. And thank you guys for watching. I think I might be back on Tuesday